David got his churchy.
Bless up, bless up, bless up, bless up. You are now tuned into the Promise Key. I am your host, Kushite Selassie, joined by my co-host, Queen Nigas. Dave, bless up to you. We are now here with a powerful brother. His music brings power to your soul, dude. It's like you waking a chakra right here, boy. It's like one time I'll play your music and a storm came. It's like you called Oya to the room or something, man. I mean, for real though. This is about without further ado, please introduce yourself to the family.
One, two, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Let me fix my camera. I'm over here pushing buttons out of excitement. I'm in and out. I'm here. I'm everywhere. No, at the same time. I'm Stiggaz Stigalo, aka Stigalo Swag Mode. Frat. You just been blacktivated. We not talking about captivated. We talk about blacktivation, activation, putting information into action, which turns it to knowledge. And I'm here to be happy to be on the Promise Key show. Real talk. Sincerely, I am. And we are all about that work. We are about family, community, and nation building. 1, 2, 1, 2. Yes.
Oh.
This is a special day.
For my audience who don't know who the brother is, he is an artist of powerful music, man. Bump all these fake Main Street God body artists. They need to start giving you money. Yo, without further ado, let's go ahead and play a clip. Let's go ahead and play a clip for homie. Hold on, no, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm just already start playing this. I'm so ready to start playing this song. But my brother here has been doing a lot of artists doing a lot of music with his fellow artists. Man, yo, tell me, what inspired you to start combining the traditions of the Orishas with hip hop?
For real.
Oh, first of all, hey, in the words of my godfather, that is a great question, and I'm appreciative and thankful. Well, what something that's real interesting is that it called me. I can't even say that I did it myself. I'd be lying if I was to say, try to say that it was me. It's strictly the shrines and me answering the call, literally. I am a part of my family is called Ogun. That's my Ile house. I am also an initiated Gungun priest. I'm freezing up. Can y'all hear me?
No, you good.
Okay, cool. I'm also an initiated Gungun priest, and I've always been doing music. I've always been an MC. So, to be honest with you, it really just came down. I want to say out of nowhere. However, I be lying. It just came. I don't know. They just started speaking through me. I allowed the ancestors to speak through me. I allowed the Orishas to speak to me. I allowed Ifa, Egungun to speak through me, to do the work. They told me that it's time to do the work. And I utilize hip hop as my fight part of and where Nago as my fighting stance for the liberation of our people. It's been all too often that we've been getting all of these other styles of music, from gangster rap to like you said, the God body to Christianity rap to everything. People have not been African with the music. You know what I'm saying? Where's the African liberators are. So this is not only for our people to gain understanding. I'm interested in making theme music for the liberators, for those who are out there fighting the fight, so that we all have something to listen to, so that we can, while we out there, we don't want to have to go listen to Yo Gotti or these other people. When we talking about liberating our folk, we have to have every hero needs theme music. So I'm interested in making the theme music for the heroes like yourselves, like this platform right here, so we could continue on with the fight.
Exactly.
Right on.
Exactly.
Now, this first song here. I'm just using this. I'm using this to do this song. Let's play a clip from this first song here. Let's talk about this first song. What is that? Explain. Break that down. Break down that chant for me, my G.
Which part of it? The hook. All of it. Okay. Okay. So no doubt, all of it. So all right. So
understand my language. I need to understand our language, my G.
No question. Hey. So what's interesting is I forgot to add this. I started writing this project before the pandemic, you know, and that's when it came to me. So that track right there is called 9. That was literally the first one I did, and it speaks to not the number 9. We talk about the frequency of 9. We're also talking about 9 as a shape. We're talking about the current coil of our energy. We're talking about the different our DNA strand. So when we see 9, to me, it's not a number, it's the spiral. So if you're looking at it from above, you may see a 9. If you're looking down on it, you may see a 6. It depends on which way we're going. All that is also God's fingerprint, right? So when we look at our thumb, we see the spiral. When we look at our waves, we see the spiral. When we look at the inside of the tree, we see the spiral. When we see the tornadoes, when we see the cosmic universe, it resonates on all levels of existence that God number 9 or the God frequency shape 9. That is the fingerprint of what God gives us. And I decided to find a way to put that into music. Also, there's a book by Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, Rest in Power to the Queen, where she spoke about the 9 areas of activity that we've been warred upon, right? From our education system, from our judicial system, from our, she didn't add health in there, that would be the 10th, from all these different areas where we've been being attacked. So I wanted to take that concept of 9 and see how many different ways I could break it down. Also, that's the number of Oya. You know, we spoke of Oya earlier, the number for change. You know what I mean? When Oya brings her winds through, there's change. So I did that track first so I could bring that Oya energy to sweep all of this bull and garbage out of the way. So we could blow all of this garbage out the way with this 9 and get back to 9 ether. I mean, we get to the ether beings that we are. We are those ether beings. So
nobody. That's right.
And we don't want to get confused. That's why in the Bible I said that's a 6. No, that's a 9. The same shape and design. But you see, it changes if you flip it one time. I forgot how I said it, but you know, we're looking at shapes and designs, you know, and depending on the angle in which you look at them, will be the manifestation or the education or the lesson that you'll get out of it. So we're dealing with 9s. We're 9 beings, and the opposite of us are 6. 6 either, you know what I mean? The lower vibration. Of course, we're talking about the enemies of our ancestors, the Western culture, European culture that don't have that current coil as we have. So all in there, I look to break down the science of 9 and take it to the street as well, you know, because we all have been in the streets. If we haven't, we have family members who have been, and that is the space where we're looking to bring our healing at. We'll bring healing. I was talking to my family the other day about making Kool-Aid. You know, when we made Kool-Aid, we stir it up. And if you don't get that spoon to the bottom, right, when you stirring it, making that same whirlwind, when you don't get the it won't settle. You know, it doesn't dissolve well. Right. So right. So I look to get to that to get that measuring stick to the bottom, get it to the bottom so we can stir it up, you know, and it's make it digestible. There's a saying that I got from my mom as I was little called medicine with the applesauce. Medicine with the applesauce. My brother, when we were younger, he couldn't swallow pills. So what my mom would do, she'd take a pill, she'd crush it up and put it in applesauce, and he'll take it then. So I look at our people in the same manner. If we just give them the medicine straight out, because I'm sure you guys build with people and you drop jewels and science, and it's natural for people to reject them, right? To be like, oh, they don't want to hear it, or different things as such. So when we find creative ways to give them the medicine with the applesauce. That's also a part of what I did with 9, you know. And in the video, you're gonna see 9 cups of water. You see me at my shrine, you know. And I also interested in making our people who do this spiritual work, who are involved, to use your shrines, use your spiritual technology for the liberation of our people. For the liberation of our people. If you're not using your work, if your spiritual technology isn't for the liberation of our people, to teach the babies early what we learn late, then I don't know what you're doing with it. You know, then it's a waste of time. If you can't give it to the children, it's useless. Period. So it's very important for us to find ways to inspire and to give it to the youth. Speaking of such, right?
Yes, sir.
This is another. Let me share something with y'all. This is a very special moment for me, really, right? I'm here with my nephew. Right? Hold on. Let me give some. You know what I mean? Say what up, Nep.
What's up?
Okay. Hey, listen. Hey, I'm looking to show nephew what it's hitting for. You know what I mean? He attends FAMU, and he's the reset button for my family. You know, he is the reset button. It's important for him, for me to show him what I do, so he could tap into our bloodline where the information is. All of us have coded information in our blood. That's where the message, that's where the information of God lies within us. That's where the communication is. It's in the blood. The bud, the blown, Ifa. It's in the bone, the blood. So when we tap in our blood, everything's coded like a what we call it, like a barcode, like when you scan it, like boop boop, and it's filled with information. Now the Western culture has put blocks on that, right? So we have to get through those blocks to tap into the information that our first mothers had. The same way we look like our great grandfathers and our great greats through epigenetics, information is passed through the bloodline. All right, so it's very important for us to be able to tap into that bloodline stream, to be able to tap into the coding, to be able to tap into that spiritual antenna, so that we can gain the tools that we can use, so we can use them now to liberate our folk. So earlier when you asked me where did I get it from, I'm talking, that's where I got it from. It was in the blood. It's always been there. And the more I got in tune with African culture, African spirituality, my voice changed, my tone changed, my word changed, my thought process changed, my purpose changed, right? I can't do it if it doesn't have purpose. Thing except for be African.
Blood.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Now, for my kid,
the real that
for real though. Now,
as real as he can give it.
For real. Now, for my gift for.
Go ahead, sorry.
Right. No, my fault. Now, for my guests who don't know what the Orishas are, explain what are the Orishas in a quick sum of what are the Orishas.
Okay, I'll give you a quick, because it's it travels so deep. There's no way to really put it in a small perspective, but I'll do my best. These are divine.
Then re-question this. Explain what is the Orishas. Heck, we got time. Break it down.
Okay.
Hey, this is a teaching moment anyway. This is the learning channel anyway. Break it down.
That's right. These are divine principles within us, as well, that exist on the plane, that give us teachings, that gives us lessons. These are part of our African cosmology. All right, these are our African cosmology. So we're not talking about Jesus, Joseph, Mary, Paul, and none of that. We ain't talking about even Kemetic culture of Osiris Set, no disrespect. We ain't talking about the later Egyptian who said Horus. We're talking about origin of African deities that travel with us since the beginning. They've always been there. And the interesting thing about it is they communicate with us, right? They communicate with us. Could you turn that up for me? They communicate with us not only in the physical through symbolism, they also communicate through dreams. All right? Like literally, they'll come talk to you. They'll come share with you. They'll come give you guidance. Some people think that that is not real. And I'm here to tell you spirituality is very, very real. African spirituality is extremely real. So Orishas are part of our pantheon of African deities that we communicate through, that communicate with us on our behalf, and also give us disciplines as well. So we utilize those in our help. So the first thing I want to, one thing I definitely have to say though, there's a saying that goes like this: Orisha be a gungun kosi, which means Orishas do not come before your ancestors. All right? Orishas do not come before your ancestors. Your ancestors and your family are the first shrine. Those are the first shrines. So that's your direct. Those are the ones who have gone on. That there's some that have gone on and some that have not made it to this plane, that always have your best interest in mind. All right. I'm talking about your great granny. You know, the grannies that used to take care of when you was young. You know, you're the ones that used to feed you, pamper you, your uncles, the ones that may have shrines you knew that didn't even come to this planet. Your ancestors, your bloodline. Those are first. That's your first line of defense. All right. So Orishas, don't get me wrong. Orishas are phenomenal. They are here as a part of the work. However, I want everybody who's tuned in to know this. Your first move is your ancestors. Your ancestors. And that's your Egungun. You got your Egungun. That's your bloodline relatives. Your bloodline. You got your Egun, which is your community relatives, and your Egungun, which is your bloodline relative. And those are the ones we call on first. Those are the ones we put on our shrines. When we build our ancestor shrines, the names that go on there are your bloodline, and the ones that have lived great lives, the ones that have had children, been married, who care. We also aware that some of our ancestors that passed from violent deaths or different ways, or may have passed early. We have to be careful when we calling on those ancestors, because we know they may not have transitioned fully. So our work here is to not only bring veneration to those who pass and get guidance, we also have work to do for those who are maybe stuck, all right, who may have passed before it was their time. All right, it's very important for us to be able to uplift them. We have work to do. So the work isn't just physical here. We're doing work on the other side as well. we look at things, if we look at our hand, all right, the hand, right, is one hand. It's one hand, but you got two sides to it. You know, two sides to your hand. Still one. You got the living side and the other side, the past side. However, they work together, right, in order to move, to grab things, right, to do what we have to do in this pain and in this time right here now. So that's my explanation quick explanation for Orishas and Gungun, our ancestors, and how we work with them in order to have the best results to build our lives, which makes a better family, a better community, and a better nation. Extremely important. Extremely, extremely important. And I don't think that our ancestors and our Gungun get enough props or get enough, you know, we hear about Orisha and we don't hear about our ancestors enough.
Yes. Yes. And
Granny ain't gonna let nothing happen to you neither.
That's right. That's right. Just like when she was living, she's the same way when she's on the spiritual side. And she's even even more fierce if she wants to be. You know what I mean?
And that's right. She's even more fierce. And I kid you not, this culture saved my life. Literally, I literally, like, and I say that so sincere, without biting my tongue or even feeling loose. And I'm not talking about in a mystery way neither. I'm not talking about like, oh, I just started doing good because I changed my ways. No, they came to me. Okay, they showed me what was on my path. Literally in real time, and it gave me a choice. Now you can continue with what you're doing, okay? You continue on your path, and that path will surely lead till you no longer being on this planet. Show me in real. We do readings. We have spiritual technology, okay? So by me getting, and they told me what I have to do to maintain and sustain. All right. So when you get a second chance at life, all right, when you get a second chance at life, you start to discover purpose even more. Like, why am I here? All right. And it's not so we can look cool. It's not so we can sound smart. It's strictly for the liberation of our people. We've been warred upon. And we've been made to think we not. Like they try to make us forget. We're in the middle of this. We're in the middle of it. And those before, we stand on the shoulders of those who came before us. And I realized also why that Western culture do not want us to tap into our African culture. An example, the Haitian Revolution. Shout out Dessalines. Okay. Shout out Mackendall. Okay. Nana Fatima. Shout out the Haitian Revolution who kicked the French ass, America's ass, and all of their asses with no weaponry. Okay.
For real.
No weaponry. They didn't have big machine guns. You know what they had? They had their shrines. They had the information from their ancestors. They knew how to use nature. They used guerrilla warfare. Okay? And kicked the French ass, Napoleon's army, which was the toughest army at the time in the world.
Right. Okay? And Haiti crushed them. Haiti just crushed it, just like that.
Crushed them. Hey, think about it. When you are fighting for the liberation of your family, the babies, when you fighting for the babies, okay, yes. when you fighting for the babies, it's a different type of fight. That's right. It's a different. They didn't know. The French did not know what they was in store for.
No, they didn't.
Right, they didn't. They didn't know. They didn't know. You know, we were doing things like Hey, when we get a hold of cannons, let's just say we took a cannon and we didn't have cannonballs, but we had our dead comrades, we'll chop that head off, throw it inside the cannon, and blast it. Now these French are seeing a head.
The last thing you see.
Okay? Oh, they seeing heads fly, knock them out. And they see a dead African head.
The last thing you see.
Okay, that just got blasted.
The last thing you see. I'm on the battlefield. I hit and shoot me out. Make sure I kill. Make sure I make sure my dead skull take out 2 of them.
Exactly.
That's right. Make sure my skull take out this 2 of them. And psychologically, right? Psychologically, they like, whoa, they never seen nothing like that before. So they started wanting to pack up their stuff and get running. They got to running, all right? They got to running, all right? So, and if this is why Haiti has been demonized. This is why voodoo has been demonized. This is why they still go through what they do go through to this day. It's because they literally showed us what to do to kick ass.
Yes.
They don't never want us to look at them as liberators, as like they say, martyrs, as people to look up to. So they try to make us look at our home or our ancestors or our liberators or people that are comrades as something bad.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they know once we tap in, it's a wrap. This is also why they sold New Orleans, gave the Louisiana Purchase in the 1700s. Okay, because the French couldn't pay.
Hold on, repeat it.
Okay, this is why the Louisiana Purchase. Okay, they couldn't pay. You know what? And they didn't want to. You know what they did? They was real cool. They probably didn't even tell America what was going on. When they ran from over there, they probably was like, look here, America, I know we was beefing about this area around here, but I tell you what, give me what you want. You can have the land and all the Africans that came with it. We don't want no parts of them. Okay. they ain't want
black people. Do you research?
Oh.
Do you research on that, black people?
Yeah.
That's right. They ain't want no parts.
That's a big blank. That's a big blank.
But check it out. The French is such a sore loser, right? You got the French such a sore loser that now Haiti is just finishing up paying a debt that the French had between the Americas. That had nothing to do with Haiti, but all of a sudden Haiti is paying a debt that French lost because of the Louisiana Purchase to America. So they got their ass whooped and they just couldn't accept it. They had to keep going and say, we got to get something. We can't just be a sore loser like this. So you're going to pay me because I had to give up the Louisiana. It's just a big evilness, you know, and like the people failed. They failed after the strong heads transition. The people in Haiti, they fell to the Catholic religion, and they forgot to fight for that right, not to pay France anything. They don't owe France nothing.
They don't owe France a thing.
You brought me to this island. If I wasn't already there, you brought me to this island from Africa. So what the hell I owe you?
Right. We owe them another ass whooping. That's what we owe them.
Okay, but Desiree tried to show us how to do it, but we're so scared of it and we're so negative about it that we won't never be able to reach those levels of conquering again. That's why it's always labeled as the first Black revolution, because that's the only revolution we're going to see in the Black era right now. All of us will be ancestors if that happen again. We will be ancestors if that revolution happen again. But 1804 is a blueprint. But we don't have the minds of the people. We don't have the minds of the people like that anymore. That's the issue.
Right.
We don't have the minds of the people to think on Desiree levels. We don't have it.
That's right.
And Congo has a question. Homie, Congo has a question for you. If the ancestors have power how all of them still have us here at the on the bottom?
Great question. That's the question that I've asked myself, as well as a great question. First of all, we had to realize we're not on the bottom. That's an illusion. All right, we are not on the bottom at all. We're not. All right. Let's look at the time clock of rulership. All right. Them couple thousand years or however hundreds of years that they quote unquote they have been in power, we've been in power forever. So if we look at the scoreboard, right? Let's look at the scoreboard. We got 100 million and they got 5,000, 6,000. All right. We not losing. They might got a quarter. They might have scored a touchdown. They might have scored some points. However, we are way ahead. And we also have that spiritual technology. All right. We realize that material is not wealth. Our ancestors realized we're playing the long game. Okay. The tools and information that we're able to retrieve and pass through and survive and live and rise from, they don't have. All right. We know and our ancestors knew and understand that the material objects will wear out.
Yes.
All right. And it only takes, it's psychological. All right. So they want you to think you're on the bottom. And they may put instances in where they try to make you hungry or try to starve you. But if we're looking at our value through their system, we're gonna lose. So we can't judge ourselves through the eyes of Western culture. All right, we can't look at materialism, quote unquote, money or different things like that as if that's our liberation, because that's not. We can't look at those quote unquote people in positions of power who are working with the enemies of our ancestors, right, to oppress our people as us. So we're really not on the bottom when you really think about it. Because if we were on the bottom, right, if we were, then they would not feel like they have to continue to step on us or to fight against us.
That's
right?
true. I can believe that.
All right. If we were on the bottom, all right. So obviously they fear a Black Panther. Shout out to Public Enemy. Okay. Shout out to yeah. So brother, no. We are not on the bottom. This is why we have this platform right now. All right. Because what's in our DNA and the code and encoded within us will not stop. Right? We're not stopping. Okay, this not over the day. We didn't quit. We didn't say, oh hey y'all got it. We out now. Y'all could just have everything. No. We still fighting back. We still kicking ass, right? And we playing a long ball game, right? We know we're going to outlast them. We know their birth rate has dropped with negative since 2012. We know and understand that after a while, there'll be no Europeans on the planet. All right. So what we have to do is make sure that we have an African-centered mind. All right. So we're not Africans or melanated people walking around with European thinking. All right. Because that's the game they playing now.
Yeah, that's what's happening.
So now I challenge the brother to say, hey, brother, we are not on the bottom. Look at the lands. Look at your family. Because the things that we love is family, community, and nation. As long as you got love for your babies, your children, your family, and your community, we far from done. We are far from at the bottom.
Right.
All right. Now, I'm pretty sure Congo gonna have a response to that. But before we go too far, I want to get back on the Orishas. Now, explain the difference in the different Orisha gods. Oh, is that? You gonna say that?
Okay. Yep, I was gonna say something. If my battery die, I got another spare right here. I'm gonna just throw my joint right in, and I'll be right back on because I'm gonna ride this one out until it ends. And so you said explain the difference. Okay.
Yeah.
Another great question.
All the Orisha gods and their principle, their function, what they're in charge of, and then afterwards, I'm gonna ask you, how does one tell which Orisha god is watching over them?
Okay, great question. Well, I'm gonna deal with the warriors first. All right, this is what we're gonna deal because we talking war right now, right? So I'm gonna deal with the main 4 warriors, right? Which is Eshu, Ogun, Ochosi, and Osun. Those are your warriors. Those are your 4 warriors, right? Eshu, he's the doorway. Everything goes to Eshu. Everything. He is the doorman. He is the police of the other Orishas. He keeps the Orishas in line. He's also has the ability to travel as far forward into the future, all the way to the past. Okay. He is also the the Orisha of decision making. All right, this is where we make our decisions: right, left, up, down, forward, back, smart decision making. Okay, he is the road. He is on the road. So, traveling. That's that shoe. His symbolisms, you may see him as a little boy. All right, because he has that innocence. He may be a little playful, but he's always teaching lessons. European culture demonize him as the devil. We don't deal with the devil. However, we deal with lessons, though. All right. So he'll teach you a lesson on your decision making. All right. He's the type to be like this. He may tell you like your parents, hey, don't touch that candy over there. All right. Don't go over there and mess with that. And you may say, all right, but then you come right back and ask him again. He may be like, okay, go ahead then. Go ahead. And then when you learn that lesson, that's him working. You know what I mean? Because you're going to learn a lesson through it and change how you move. Since you ain't want to listen, there you go. He may just give you that candy. Now when you get a rotten tooth, hey, that was on you. Okay? So however, though, everything goes through him.
White people hate consequence.
There we go. Right? And that's another thing. These they keep us. Yes, they keep us in line as well. That's another thing. This can't just be running around doing what you want to do and think you ain't gonna get no consequences. You can just this ain't Christianity. Go pray about it and you'll be all right. This ain't that. This ain't just do what you want to do and Jesus, I'm all right. I can just run the road.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
this
I'm
ain't that.
saved, so I'm exempt from all that. I can still be wicked. Yeah, as long as I'm saved. I'm still wicked, but I'm saved in Jesus.
Yeah, this got checks and balances over here. Yeah. This got checks and balances over here. This is not. Yeah. You have to answer. You have to. All right, and that's what we do as African. This is why you don't see a historic African culture. You don't see that prison system. You don't see a lot of mental health. You don't see a lot of stuff because you got to answer to your movement. All right. So that's a quick lesson of Eshu. His colors are red and black, and that's a quick joint of Eshu. His right hand that he rock with heavy is Ogun. Okay, you see, Ogun is technology. Ogun is a warrior. Okay, Ogun don't play. When you call on if you call on Ogun, Ogun don't come to negotiate. Okay, when he come, you make sure you call on Ogun for the right reason. If you don't want him to show up, and you then don't even play that way, right? Because let's just say like this. If he was in a house, right? Or somebody was in a house, right? And you sent Ogun after him, he may go blow up the whole house. He might not care about who else inside. Okay, he don't got time to decipher and do all of this extra stuff. No, when he coming to kick ass.
Right. That's why you only call on Ogun when you've tried everything and everything else has failed, and you stuck with that one more decision, and that's Ogun. That's why you don't deal with Ogun unless he's the last resort. I've tried every measure to make this thing work, and it's just not gonna work unless Ogun come in and clean this thing up. Ogun or Oya. You know what I mean?
That's right. That's right.
You know when to use Oya, you know when to use Ogun. You know when it's Ogun time. You know what I mean?
I don't know why, Oya is my favorite. For some reason, Oya is my favorite. She was the first. She was the first Oasia I ever heard of.
Yeah,
she's the mother of a Gungun.
Right.
Yes.
But
yep.
But Yemoja is my head. You know, even though I love Oya, I find out that I'm not from the house of Oya. I'm Yeminya or Yemoja or Yemanja. So many different names.
I want to know which one watching over me. Cause somebody walking through my house, somebody walking through the house other than my grandma. I mean, I know my grandma walking through the house. That's the personal thing. I know my grandma's always walked through the house. Whenever I've always heard steps, my mom says my grandma walking throughout the house and shit is checking on everybody.
Is that her house you're in?
Oh, my grandma's?
Yeah, you live in her house now?
No. This is my mom's house. But when she got married, she moved out, and everything got transferred over to me. And now I'm paying the land, and now I pay for the land in the house.
Right. Okay,
I pay the tax on everything. This is my little spot. That's all. This little property in. Yeah, this nice little property is all. This is basically all I wanted. This 1 acre. That's all I wanted. My grandpa left a lot of land for us and crap. My cousin Dooley got most of it now because nobody needed all that land. All I wanted was this lot. I didn't want the house I grew up in. My mom didn't want to stay here no more. So hey, let me stay here. My house. No, crap. It's the house I grew up in. Why should I move? Crap. Everybody else moving out. Why I gotta move?
Exactly.
Right.
Your grandma's definitely there, you know?
Right.
Your grandma's definitely there. So there's a family tie, you know?
Yeah.
So I can see her being around you, making sure everything is fine. Mm-hmm.
I told Lex that she really started freaking out because she said she always heard footsteps in the house.
What?
I told her, no, don't worry about that. That's grandma. She's not. She said she's not. She's happy. She's nice to meet you. She's checking in.
Right.
She basically saying welcome to the family. If you hear footsteps, that means she's checking in on you.
Because she allowed herself to be heard. So that means there's a love.
You accept it now.
Mm-hmm.
Because really else, I don't think anybody else ever heard of.
Not even your mother?
No, my mom always heard it. My mom the one who told me.
Okay. I see, yeah.
Mom the one who told me. So
and then you started hearing it after your mom said it.
Nah, I've always heard steps. Because I always thought it was just, the trailer. But then my mom was like, you ever heard footsteps at night? I'm like, yeah, kind of. But I always thought that was trailer shit. I said, no, don't worry about it. That's just grandma walking through the house. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Because she died when I was about 4, so I still have like little bits and pieces of her of memories of her and stuff. But the last memory I have of her is her funeral.
Okay. When you was 4 years old.
Yes, I had to be about 4 or 3. I say 4.
That's interesting that you remember that at 4 years old.
I still remember the funeral. I still remember crying at the funeral.
Yep. Yeah. Why you was crying? You was crying because you know you wasn't gonna see her again.
Well, put my grandma in the grave. I just know that much. I knew what was going on.
You knew she wasn't coming back, so it made right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I never understood why people said, "No, don't show them that they're too young to understand." What does that mean? I knew what was going on. Y'all putting my grandma in the grave in a hole. Grandma dead. I was there when she died.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was there when she died. Hell, I won't go nowhere from my mom. I was never too far from my mom. So heck, I was in the house when she died. I knew what was going on. All right, hold on. I think he's back.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay, we back. They can't stop us.
Welcome back, my kid.
Okay, so we back, my G.
Job.
So yeah, yep. So we were just built on Ogun, right? And speaking of warriorship and him not playing, he's also the technology. All right. So all our knives, technology, metals, that's all Ogun. You know, these technology phones, all of that's all Ogun as well. You know, he's also work. He also puts in work. So when we talk about man work, hard work, lifting, fixing, yard work, whatever it may be, that work, that's also Ogun. You know what I mean? So he's just not, I don't want people to think he's just violent. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yep. He definitely puts in that work. Right. Yep. So him and that shoe roll together like car and road. Right? Car would be the metal, Ogun, technology, road would be a shoe, you know, 4-way stop signs and things like that. All right. Now, and we thinking of this militaristically, Ochosi. All right. Ochosi is the arrow, the crosshairs, the straight, direct route. All right. So if we were taking aim at something, all right, we'll call on Ochosi to have that direct aim. No roundabouts. You know what I mean? No cutting, no corners, no curves. Straight, bam. Laser preciseness. All right. So when it's time for Ogun to come through with that machete, we got Ochosi to help give him guidance on direction. All right, on which way he gonna go? Hey, we going this way because he coming through, and Ochosi gonna make sure that it's going where he's supposed to go. Right? Militaristically, Osun, that would be our Air Force. All right, meaning the overlooker. All right, to be able to see what's ahead, whether it's danger, whether we need to do what we need to do. So that would be like the Air Force. All right, yes. The protector, all right, to see what's going on. So when we have our Osun shrines, we keep them high. We keep those in a place to overlook, to see what's going on. You know what I mean? So those are our four main those are our warriors. All right, and those who are that's how we bring in our new year. All right. And we and on this side, that the new year is spring. Also, in Africa, September 11th is spring. But some people debate about that. You know what I mean? But I'm not gonna go into all the the debate world with that. However, we celebrate our new year by giving our during the springtime, and we bring them in with our warriors. All right, and they are very, 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 very important. You know what I mean? So those are our warriors, and I just also want to take the time. Hopefully, I won't cut out. I got to give a shout out to Chief Obalumi. Chief Obalumi, who's the oldest Shango priest. In America, who brought the shrines over. Let me see. I got my notes real quick because I don't want to mess nothing up, right?
Take your time.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
take your time.
Okay. Okay, sweet. I don't want to mess nothing up. And give a quick little quick little lesson or quick share some things, right? Mm-hmm. So, Chief Obalumi was, like I was saying, was the first. He's the oldest Shango priest here. He had a dance studio, a dance squad, if you will. I'm trying to think of the right word, called the Dambala Wedo Dance Company out of New York. All right. They had two friends, him and his homeboy, right? Now, they want
my G, you still there?
Yes, I'm still here.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, it went out. All right. So, Chief Obalumi and his boy, this is going to be a little quick story. They had Dambala Wedo Dance Company in New York in 1952. Now, in 1952, it wasn't cool to be black. Definitely wasn't cool to be African. All right, because you had all kind of movements then. You had the Nation of Islam. You had the Christianity. However, people was not being African even then. All right, because even other cultures, Islam and different things, looked at African culture as bad. So he had Chief Obalumi, who had Dambala Wedo Dance Company. All right, him and his boy wanted to get close to the African culture. They were wearing the dress, they were dancing. So what they did was and traveled to Ghana. They went to Ghana to see if they could get initiated, get in tune. And what happened was they were turned away, right? For whatever reasons, right? Later on, can you hear me still?
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Okay, so boom. After that, Chief Obalumi went to Montaza, Cuba. He went to Montaza, Cuba, and got initiated to Obatala. Okay? He got initiated to Obatala back then. All right? And his boy ended up going back to Ghana, right? And you know how in church, you know how in church they got the what they're called the Holy Ghost or the shouting, the ring shout. Right. You know what I mean? Right? That's an African culture. That's what we do when we call out the spirits. That's what we do. Right? That process in the church was put there because we were hiding our African culture and spirituality within from the oppressors. All right. So when the slave masters and different people used to see us quote unquote getting happy or doing these praise dance, they thought we were crazy. However, we were bringing them down. Okay. Okay. We were bringing them down. So his boy did this. He was in Ghana doing this. So he takes off running. Right? And while he was there, he ended up finding a shrine. Right? So he goes through the ring shout. He runs off, right? Deep buried in Ghana. He basically in so many words, it's a shrine here calling me. All right, this is how deep the spiritual goes. So they dig. They're like, okay, it's right here. He digs. He go to digging. Not saying he better than anybody, right? He ends up putting up a shrine, right? And that shrine was named Nanakumi, which is from the Akan tradition, right, which comes out from Ghana, right? And what he did was ended up bringing that shrine back to the States, right? His boy did. Chief Obalumi, they brought their shrines back to the States, all right? Then there's also a in the 70s they went to Benin, and then they brought back a Gungun shrines. They went and I won't mess nothing up. Yeah, they brought which, you know, in Benin is where Vodun comes out of. All right, so that's also the Fa and Ifa. All right, so they bring back these shrines to the States, and then they go to teaching people, and these started lineages in the States for African culture, African spirituality, such as they even also started Oyutunji village. These brothers. This is when if you ever hear of Oyutunji village, these shrine work that they went and found and brought back were the foundation for Oyutunji village and these legacy of shrine work that we have right now that people are learning from. And there was a man named what's his name? Hey, y'all know Kwame Nkrumah?
Yes.
That's right. Well, when he was here, he took the I'm black and I'm proud, and he took the things that we were doing here back home to help fight the fight where he was. So in our culture of African spirituality, where we are here on this planet, where in the States, it's I'm gonna call it a 3-man weave, like a braid. Now you take a braid and you braid them all together. We learned, or I learned from my godfather, from my godparents, right, that you take that our bloodlines mixed. When we were brought here, you had people from different African traditions who had to share blood now. When we talked about blood earlier, we talking about lineage, we talking about epigenetics. Now we talk about the mixing of blood. We talking about the mixing of traditions, all right, that all look the same, all right, except for maybe a few different things. You're talking about a connection between our Gungun ancestors. You're talking about Ifa, and you're also talking about Vodun. You're talking about Vodun, Ifa, and Orisha. Right? All together, all three of them together is what makes up Ifa, and that also is what we're doing, how we practice our spirituality in the States due to the mixing of our blood. Due to the mixing of how we have to attack it, which is different than other places that practice, right? It's different in some ways, right? So we are a unique group here in the States, and we utilize our ancestral spiritual traditions to fight against our oppressors. My family way, our fighting stance is called Nago. The way of Nago, which is symbolic to the people who are fighting the fight, who are on the ground level, not the rich people, not the people who make all the money, who are in bed with politically with the enemies of our ancestors. I'm talking about like the farmers, quote unquote, the broke folk, the folk who wasn't trying to get with the enemies, who just wasn't with it, you know what I'm saying, got more to lose, you know what I mean, the quote unquote poor folk who never going to give up. So we talking about our culture, or the way we do it, my Nago family, right, who's dedicated to liberation of African culture and our folk, comes out of, our shrines come out of Montanza, Cuba, Benin, Ghana. We talking about shrine work, right? So sometimes people think these things are mystified and mystical, all right? They're literal. These our shrines talk, our ancestors speak, Orishas speak, and they spoke to those who came before us to bring not only awareness, to bring us our purpose here in the United States, right? So the music I do, the people I rock with, This is what they about. And that's the history, a piece of the history of how I even was able to be blessed with where I'm at. All right, because I stand on the shoulders of those who came before me. I stand on my Godfather's shoulders, who stands on his Godfather's shoulders, who stands on his Godfather's shoulders, and so on and so forth. All right. There are groups of not people. There are groups such as Encobia out of DC, who have the Sankofa conference every year, that are dedicated to the liberation of our folk. All right. You have us here, my folk. I'm in Tallahassee right now visiting my family. All right. My Ile family, my Godfather, dedicated to doing that work. All right. So I think I'm just giving these brief pieces of lessons. I know it may be skipped up a little bit because I'm trying to put it all in a few minutes. Purpose. I can't stress that enough, because a lot of people are interested in Orisha or African culture or different things like that. And like, as I said earlier, if you're not using it for the liberation of our people, right, or the reasons why they were brought here, right, then you're wasting your time. Right? So for those who out there are listening, if you are interested in the culture, right, make sure you know why you want to do it, and then you fulfill your purpose while doing it. Because people put in work, people traveled, people sacrificed, people went all in, people lost and gained, dripping sweat, whatever, for the purpose of the liberation of our folk. And I don't ever want that to be misconstrued or taken lightly just because people want to sound extra woo-wah or sound spiritual or feel like they got something up on somebody else. You know what I mean? Purpose. So when we talk about even our warriors, if we go into war with our warriors, make sure we setting them for the right purpose. Make sure you calling on the warriors for the right purpose, to clean up yourself, your family, and your community, and kick ass.
That's true.
Extremely important. You know, so I just wanted to share that piece so we could give credit where it's due for those who brought the shrines to America. Those who, a lot of the reasons why we hear about Orisha and Ifa right now were these weren't mystical people. You know what I mean? It wasn't even so long ago. Yeah, I'm listening.
No, I was just agreeing, just saying right, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I just wanted to make sure I dropped that as far as Orisha goes and Ifa, that people know it's a lineage, and I'm gonna shout him out again, Chief Obalumi. Shout out Chief Obalumi, Baba Kokai Sarai. Shout out Mama Nico Sarai. People that I have direct contact with that literally put in that work. Shout out to Baba Obawajumi. Shout out Knowledge Born from Do the Knowledge Radio. You know, shout out Baba Say Kool. Shout out to the people that unapologetically put in work. I stress the word unapologetically.
Mm-hmm.
Do not feel guilty for loving yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Before you love, as my Baba say, this is not the Namaste camp over here. We not the tree hugging Ile. Okay? That's not what we about. Hey, that's what somebody else want to do. That's them. That's not what we about. That's not what my music is about. At all. So my project that I'm gonna go relate this back to the music. The project I just did is called Frequency 3333, The Antidote. And it is literally addressing our issues for the purpose so that we can get ourselves together to fight. That is the fight. Right? We don't have to look to the outside for our healing. That's another thing. When the brother said, while we at the bottom, no, we're not. As long as you know how to heal thyself, right? You know how to teach the babies early what you learn late. Your memory is been knocked, but it's not gone. Okay? And I think all too often, people don't want to do the work, right? People want the quick microwave fix. People are looking for results in this lifetime. People think because if they don't see it during their lifetime, it doesn't happen. Well, I remind you that the pyramid builders, everyone didn't see the top being built or the bottom. People didn't see the work being finished. They knew what their purpose was while they were there. So while we are here, we serve our purpose. It might not meant for us to see the whatever we think. As long as we know when we come do our position and play our part, that we moving forward, that's what it's about. That's what it's about.
That's what's up.
So I got so I urge people. You can hear my joint on all platforms, and we're not just talking that talk. I got a project coming also this summer called Orishas Street Hop. Orishas Street Hop. I'm working on that right now. I already got featured from Wise Intelligent for Poor Righteous Teachers. I'm gonna be working with a brother named Richard Raw, Tahir RBG. I'm gonna see if I could get some other features. I got some other people that I'm gonna holler at. And it's all dedicated to the liberation of our people, to teach them about African culture, African cosmology, right? So that we can let go of other people's other stuff that's not us.
Right.
We have to give them their stuff back.
Right.
Melanated folk, give them their shit back.
Give them their shit back.
Take it all back.
You can't liberate yourself or your folks with European tools.
White man's God cannot save you from white man's oppression.
It would never happen.
Never. It'll never happen. Give them back their Christianity. Give them back give people back their Islam. Give them back their shit and go get yours. Sankofa. It is not wrong for you to go get what was lost or what has been taken from you.
Yep. Right.
And that's what my project about. Frequency 3333, the antidote, so that we could heal ourselves. And the next project is to reach the street hop, so we could get people out of the streets, so we could touch the bottom. All right, those who are in our neighborhoods, those who are in the projects. That's what I'm fighting for. All right, because that's the space where I said, when we talking about earlier, the Kool-Aid, when the sugar get to the bottom, that spoon got to get to the bottom to stir to make the change. All right. All too often they get spun up top, and people don't get to the bottom of those who really need it. And if you ain't getting it to the people who really need it, then you wasting your time. If you are out here trying to sound all smart, all deep, reading 1,000,000 books, you could quote and sound just like the book. If you can't relate or get the information and knowledge to those who need it, it is useless. It's only self-serving.
Yes. I see a lot of that too.
Period. It's so important. You know? So I'm appreciative and thankful to even be on this platform. I'm super excited to even have my nephew with me. Cause for me,
we happy to have you, man. I'm really happy to have you on here. And for future references, you forever have a voice on the Promise Key.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Real.
Cause literally, while I'm here talking.
Oh, his battery went out again.
I hope not.
Yeah, come back.
All right.
Yeah, but that's some real talk he's speaking.
Okay, my bad. I pushed the wrong button. I'm excited because literally this conversation that we're having right now is so sincere to me. I'm like I was saying, I'm just very thankful. You know, I'm just very thankful and very appreciative to be able to have a voice. Like I said, Ifa, Ogun, my ancestors literally saved my life. Look, rest in power, my man. Look, y'all, I'm gonna just keep it a stack. My best friend just got killed some months back, right? I had major operation. These was part of my transitions as well. All right.
sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
Right.
Rest in power. No doubt. These, which even brings the purpose more home. You know what I mean? We don't have time to play. Every day is not promised.
Exactly.
It's somebody who passed the day who had ideas and visions about tomorrow and didn't make it to it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's so important for us to do the best we can, what we have, like my mom always said, in the now. And in the now, we talking that promise key. Okay?
Yeah.
We're in the promise.
Okay.
Okay? The promise key. The promise key. Yeah, so I'm just very appreciative and thankful for those that I've met. I'm thankful for y'all, and I can't stress that enough. To even listen to the music in the bars, because they all filled with purpose, and all filled with African spirituality, all filled with Ogun ancestors, all filled with Orisha. And I pray that everybody on this platform or also listening gets in touch with their ancestors, get in touch with African culture, get in touch with healing, get in touch with the communities, get in touch with the give back. This is the give back. All right. And I'm gonna drop this one too. Shout out Mackendall. That's my dude. He don't get enough props in the Haitian Revolution.
I know. The medicine man.
Okay? The cleanup crew. Okay? Because before the Haitian Revolution, they had to clean up those conspirators who was working with the enemies of our ancestors. We had to clean house. Okay?
Exactly.
So we got to make sure we clean our house as well, cleaning our own houses, cleaning our own contradictions, cleaning up cleaning ourselves as we move forward. Not beating ourselves up when we mess up, right? Don't do that. No. Don't do that.
Right.
Okay?
Just check yourself.
Yeah, just check ourselves, because we understand we've been trained to think other. All right, so don't beat yourself up for mistakes. Don't beat yourself up for, like I said, contradictions. We acknowledge them, don't run from them, and we clean them up, and we give the people our best versions of us.
Facts. Good. All right, before we continue, I need to ask: does anybody else hear that air conditioning in the back?
No, not at all.
Okay, good. Then the headset's working. Hooray for gaming technology.
All right.
Yeah, it got too hot in there, and when the Empress says too hot, I gotta cool it off in here.
Hey.
So all right. So now back on the Orishas. You've been basically answering all my questions. Basically, just by letting you flow, you've been answering all my questions. So I guess we can go back. This is almost, you basically broke it down to my last question. How does one find out which Orisha is watching over them?
Great. There's only one way to find out, and that is to go to the mat. You have to have a reading done to find out who is your head Orisha, or your foot Orisha, or your mother and father, right? Because you get two. It's a balance. Everything comes with balance. The only way to know for sure is to get a reading at the mat. You have to go sit down with a Babalao or someone who's proficient in that and serious about it to find out. Now, don't be caught up, because some people play around, some people do stuff for money, right? Some people, they're deceivers, right? Camouflaged as Babalaos, right? Camouflaged as great people. However, the real way though is to really find to hit the mat. That's the only real way to know. Is to get a reading, you know. Other people may say other things, However, from my understanding, from my lineage and the people that taught me, they the only way is to go to the mat. Because you may have someone who an Orisha who walks with you right now, right? You have a Orisha that's walking with you now, who's helping you, giving you guidance. That does not mean that's the Orisha who's gonna take your head or claim you, or that you're gonna, that you're gonna rock with. That's gonna rock with you. That you're gonna get those shrines. Because when you get your head or in your foot, you get shrines. You get actual pots that go with it. You get hardware that comes with it in the culture. And a way to, as a barometer, if you're looking for Babalaos, do your research on them. Study them, see how they move. There's put that clear glass of water, as my Baba says. Are they married? What's their family life like? How do they move in the community? Right? Does it seem like they just after dollars? Literally check them out, their sincerity, before you choose them to even get a reading from. Because it's about relationship building, right? Because that Babalao may end up being your godfather or godmother. So when you're choosing, you're looking, these are certain criteria. You want to make sure you hold these certain criterias to make sure that, because you're putting your life in their hands, right? You're coming to them for answers, and these people will be tighter than some of your own family, right? And a lot of this is your spiritual family, so it's important that you choose them wisely, and you don't have to, just because they got Babalao by their name don't mean that's who you gotta build with. Literally check them out. Ask questions about them. Hey, you married? Oh, how many children you got? See if they, see how they move, and you literally check them out. And if they don't fit your criteria, hey, just move on. I urge people not to do they got on Facebook, you may see they got this thing going on now where you got all of these people from the continent inboxing you and saying, hey, if you want to know your fortune, if you want to know lotto numbers, you want a whole lot of money, you want this and that, hey, just send over some cash. You guys probably got some of them inboxes too. Don't mess with that. That ain't how it go. Okay? These are real relationships. So they're gonna the ancestors and the Orisha are gonna use people within your grasp. They're not gonna say, hey man, get this inbox from the continent of Africa so you can find out who your head Orisha is. Literally, there are people in your community that do it, and you might have to travel. My introduction into the culture, I had to travel from Rochester, New York, all the way down to Tallahassee. That's why I'm here now. Travel.
You think you'd be able to find a place in New York? With New York being such a melting pot, you think you'd be able to find a spot in New York?
Yep. But it's about relationships, though. All right. So there are definite people who do it in New York. There are. All right. I was blessed enough to be able to. Come on in. I was blessed enough to be able to come in with the culture with who I came in with. People who brought it to the States. You know what I mean? Right. I didn't know it when I came into the culture. That's another thing. When I came into the culture, I didn't know what I was getting into.
Yeah.
I literally had no idea. I never heard of an Orisha. I never, I didn't know. I was into Kemetic culture at the time.
Right.
I was studying and asking questions though. Right? Who to my godfather, who ended up becoming my godfather, right? I used to always ask him mad questions, and I'll go read this or study this or learn this. And then one day he said, you know what? next week, shout out my brother Haru. He said, Haru coming down to Tallahassee next week. Why don't you hop in the car and come down with him? I said, okay, bet. So here I am, oblivious. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna hop in the car. Went on down to Tallahassee. I'm like, okay. We went out to his godfather house, chief house. I'm like, we doing work, we doing ritual work, we doing dances, we doing drumming, we eating, we doing all kind of stuff. I'm hyped. I'm like, well, this is it. This is beautiful. This is African as it gets, right? This is what I'm thinking, right?
Right.
Until I went home. I didn't sleep for that whole weekend. When I went home and finally went to sleep and got some rest, that's when it came. The ancestors came, the Orishas came, and they came. When I say they come to talk to you, they come. They don't leave no, I wonder if. Okay? Before I went to bed that night, I remember my godfather said to me, we're having casual conversation. He said, hey man, how'd you like we're coming down? How'd you like it? I'm like, hey man, I love it all. I'm just telling how great the time. He said, oh yeah? All right, no doubt. Oh, he hit me with the write down your dream. I said, write down my what? He said, write down your dream and remember your dream. I'm like, and he got off the phone. So I'm sitting there like, what is he talking about? You know, in my mind, I'm like, what did he write down my dream? I wasn't paying attention so hard. I didn't even go get no pen and paper, and like he told me to do. I didn't even do that, right? And I went to bed that night, and another show I'll tell you about my whole dream. And they came. And I said they came, and they gave me messages, they gave me all kind of stuff. And when I woke up, I literally woke up like oh my goodness. That's why he said, remember your dream. Okay? And I immediately went to playing back the dream so I remember it so I could tell him what it was. All right? And that was my first experience of realizing African spirituality is real. This is not that other stuff. This ain't that wonder wishy-washy stuff. No. Our ancestors don't work like that. We have direct communication as being voices of the gods. We have direct communication. Direct communication. So that was how I was introduced to the culture, right? Unbeknown, right? And it hit me, and I've been with it ever since, you know? And that's when like I said earlier, I realized what they were trying to keep us from. Because cultivating these relationships between us, the physical, the non-physical with our ancestors, as well as the Orishas, we're able to go get information, tools, and bring them back. We get them from the dream world and bring them to the physical world. Could go over to the other side, get information, tools, so on and so forth, and bring it right back over here and use it. These are the ways they were able to even build pyramids and so on and so forth. Somebody said, how is that different when the Christian claims the Holy Ghost? First of all, let's take Holy Ghost and put it in context. Okay? When you talk about Holy Ghost from an African perspective, Baptist, right? Let's put it like this, from how we had to hide our African spirituality within the church. Okay, we hid our African spirituality within the church. So when you see the drumming like in the church, and people get to shouting and all of that, Holy Ghost is not known. We call down our ancestors. Ain't no ghost. We know what we calling down. Okay. We are aware of what we calling down. That's also called mounting. Also, we don't claim anything. They're coming to talk to you direct. Okay? They're coming to talk to you direct. And I mean direct. They'll let you know there's no doubt. Right? And with another thing we use, so it's a pieces to it. It's all about vibrations. All right? The drums, the drumming is vibration tunes. Those drums are made with animal skin that's been prayed over. All right, that goes through ritual, ceremony. All right, the skin on the drum. So when you hitting that drum, it is literally sending signals out to the ether, tapping into the other side. Right? You feel vibration, you don't see it. You feel it though. When you hit the drum, that sound is a physical thing, but you can't see it with your eyes. Same thing with the dance. This is energy talk. High frequency energy talk. When we're dancing and doing our Orisha dances for our Orisha, dancing for our ancestors, along with the drumming, we're now we talking about putting stuff in a stew. We're stewing it up. You got drumming, you got dancing, and you got songs of prayer. The songs we sing are prayers. So it's not like just music out, we're just talking. All right? So now you got this combination of dancing, drumming, and praying in song, now in unison. Now let's take a group of people doing it. All right? Now we talk about kinetic energy. We're literally talking about energy, all in unison, all in uniform, dancing, singing, praying, going through the rituals, talking to what's on the other side that's unseen. Talking to the unseen. Yeah, right there. So when we talk about hold on, because I'm reading what he said. Mills that claim power. Rastafari, I have the most drum ritual, yet it's a mess. We gotta stop life. This is all feel good rhetoric. Great thing. But you with that, I bet you with the Rasta, I bet you got that Bible with you too.
The biblical Rastas do. Congo's not a biblical Ras.
Hey, listen. So dig deep. Hey, we talk about Selassie. What do you want to do? Either way, Rasta is African. Don't get it confused. Do not get it confused. Okay? Use African. You can claim Rasta all you want. You can claim Jamaican. You can claim Haitian. You African.
Nah, Congo strict African. He claimed African.
All right, that's what I'm saying. So when you now tap in now, but he hasn't tapped into African spirituality. All right?
Mm-hmm.
You're talking African, but you ain't talking about African spiritual systems. All right? Which is why he'll make a statement like, rhetoric. All right? Because he ain't tapped in. He has no experience with African spiritual system. Vodun, Ifa, Akan.
Oh, hell.
All right? All right? He has no connection. When I hear Rasta, all right, what does he do? He's out there. Huh? Selassie, all right? What made Selassie important was because he was able to unify the people to fight off Italians and so on. He was able to unify everybody in the area. All right? He's late though. Right? We talk about Selassie. What was way before Selassie? Right? And this is what happens when we have the oppressor's mind, right? We got a black man, right? who does not tap into African culture. That's another word. Culture. Right? On the islands, we know those are breaking points. Right? That is just like where did African spiritual systems get Africa? You got to ask that a little bit better than that, my brother. Where did African spiritual systems get Africa? I don't love Selassie. Try again. All of that, though. Whatever is not African, I'm not. Whatever it is, if you ain't claiming African culture, right? Culture, right? Where's the African culture? What defines culture? Your dress, your burial, your marital, your spiritual systems, your gods, right? These things have been in existence before us, right? So I get it. I get it. Hey, I get it when people say, "Oh, it sounds like rhetoric." Hey, that's cool. Maybe it ain't for you. They ain't call you yet. They ain't call you. Don't feel left out. Keep studying. Keep growing. You might get there. You might not. Right? I tell you what. You go to studying African culture, you'll find it. It's there. It's not hidden. Sometimes we be so stuck in our own mind thinking we know, we can't grow. All right? So stuck. All right? So stuck that they can't grow. So people like him think, so hold up. So people think him like, so what they think, how do they think, voodoo not real? They think our African people who do spirituality was just, you think they just is out there doing nothing? You think they just is out there, for they feel good?
I thought it was more of a cultural aspect instead of how they, how white people demonize it and make it seem like there's all this crazy supernatural stuff. I thought it was just more of a cultural thing, not a supernatural. I'm gonna make you walk. I'm gonna make you. Well, yeah, but you know what I mean by supernatural. Physically breaking physics and all, like breaking reality type stuff.
What? So look at the lens we talk about breaking. What type of reality lens we talk about? We looking through the lens of a European. If you are measuring through the lens of a European and saying breaking reality, then it's going to be broken. When we looking through the African lens, the paranormal is normal.
Explain.
Okay? The paranormal is normal in African culture. Which is why you'll see.
And we have Congo in the building. How long, Congo? Before you go off, I'm gonna let him explain that question I asked.
Congo, what kind of rap is that on your head, Congo?
Hold on.
What kind of hat you got on?
Explain the point. Hold on.
As soon as I come on camera, you just open my head. That's how we gonna rock. What you what African country is that?
Hold on. Hey, somebody go get my Don King whiz. Hold on.
Hey, Congo, bro.
Hey, Congo, you looking like an Arab over there.
Hey, what can I say? Don't get mad at my complexion. Damn, bro.
I ain't not talking about your complexion. Hey, I'm not talking about your complexion.
What lie? Wait a minute.
You look like an Arab over there, Congo.
Based on what? Hey,
I'm Congo.
How did he become a roast off?
You a dark-skinned supremacist?
Somebody turn the oven off. It's roasted.
I ain't dark enough for you, bro.
You looking like an Arab,
I ain't dark enough for you. So I guess I'm not African, huh? I ain't dark enough for you.
No, what I see is I see an Arab mind. I'm not talking about your look. I'm talking about your mind.
Hold on.
Tell me, what I got an Arab mind?
Hey, hold on.
You looking like an Arab over there, Congo.
Hold on. All right, my giants. Y'all done told the building right quick. Y'all done told these two giants done told the building right quick. All right, chill out.
Drop the bomb.
All right.
Drop the bomb, son. Where's the bomb, son? Where's the clue bomb?
Hold on.
Where's the
All right.
Yo, my nigga. You from Rochester, right? I'm from Mount Vernon, bro. I ain't one of these country niggas. What's good, bro? I'm from
you is a country. Hey, yo. Hey, listen. If you trying to claiming Mount Vernon, I'm claiming Africa. We different.
No, because I know how you thinking. Like, you hear what you said?
Hold on. You hear what you did? Hey, yo, you see what you just did, Congo? Hey, Congo, you claim Mount Vernon, I claim Africa. We not the same.
I'm gonna let the others go.
Hey, yo, look. Hey, look. You claiming Mount Vernon, right? You claiming Mount Vernon, I'm claiming Africa. We are not the same.
You can claim what you want.
We on two different levels. You claiming Mount Vernon, bro.
You can claim what you want, but your shit says, when I read your shit, it said you from Rochester, New York. It don't say Gambia, my nigga. So I'm going by what it say, bro. It says Rochester, New York on the vibe.
But see, so what I'm saying is my DNA, my blood, right? See, we have two different conversations. You talk about Mount Vernon. I'm talking about the continent. You got pride in Mount Vernon, right?
You talking idealism. I'm talking real life today. Where we at? You in ideal land.
No, you know you're not.
Hold on. Peace.
We are not the same.
Now,
okay.
Peace.
No doubt about that. No doubt about that.
All right, my people. All right. Now, let's get things into perspective. Let's get things into perspective.
Bring that charger down.
Let's get everything in because at the end of the day it's all love. Now, Congo, what is the grievance with what the brothers bringing forth?
Okay, yeah. My thing is that I'm saying everybody's always looking for a different spiritual system.
Talk about me. No. Don't say everybody.
Hold on, brother.
No. Talk about me.
I want to get the point across.
Don't talk in the air. Okay.
I want him to get his point. I want him to try to get his point across.
Okay, first of all, I am attacking the agenda. I don't know you, brother. I am attacking the context of the conversation. I don't know you personally. This ain't personal, brother. This ain't personal. I don't know you. It's the topic at hand. I am coming after, not you. I don't know you.
Okay, right. Talk about what I'm saying, though. That's what I'm saying. Talk about what I'm saying. Don't say like these people, right? Don't say these people, right? My name is Efundayo Adewale. The crown comes home, morals bring me joy. Also known as Stiggaz Stigalo. Either one of them you can address me as. Address what I'm saying in this conversation.
Again, I'm addressing the topic. You're making it a personal attack. Why am I addressing you for? The topic is this African Orishas stuff and whether and how it's okay. Now you said okay. I'll say what you said. You said that this is real. It ain't like the rest. Okay. My thing is that they all say it's real. It ain't like the rest, and no one can prove it because it's personal. You said the spirit talked to you. Okay, everybody says it talked to them, and only they could hear it. So what's the difference?
Okay. Now,
are you asking me that question?
Yeah.
Do I got the floor? So when you say the rest, right? What are you talking about? Are you talking about Western culture? Are you talking about Islam, Christianity? Are you talking about Abrahamic religions?
Pick one. I don't care. Indian, Hindu, Shindu, China.
So there we. Oh yeah. So here we go. Right. So number one, right? None of them is African, and until you tap into African culture, you, the brother, will not know.
Okay, and
so if you judging your man, hold on, I got the floor.
Congo, hold on.
Do I got the floor?
Hold on, Congo.
Right. So you plug it up. You can plug it upstairs. Okay, here you go. So you, right? You are talking about Abrahamic religions when you say they all.
Vishnu too, right? Yeah, Abraham. Vishnu's included all of them.
What is?
I said you can Vishnu and the rest of them too.
I don't care about. That's the whole difference. I don't care about none of them because they not African culture joints. You talking about you looking through the lens of the European, the Arab, or somebody other than African to try to who all say what you're saying. You have no experience with African culture whatsoever. I could tell by how you speak. Do you know anybody who practice Ifa? Hold on, let me ask you a question. I'm gonna ask you a question. Did you ever practice Ifa, Akan, or any African spiritual system?
I've gone to their services, yes.
No. I ain't talking about no damn service, right? Because we don't do service. Number one. So if you went to a service, you sound Christian already, or other some other. We don't do service.
The nigga blew his smoke. He blew his cigar smoke on his statue. He spit his fire, his liquor on the bench, and all that shit that y'all do.
No. Hold on. No. See, that's what I'm saying. It's more to it than all of that, right? That's what I'm saying.
Well, that's why I asked you. I didn't want to see the goat get cut, so I left before the goat got cut.
Hold on. I asked you a question. What did you talk about what somebody else did? That's all you talk about. You talk about a third party, what you saw a piece of, because you didn't even stick around. I'm asking you, hold on. What have you practiced? Or have you done any? What experiences have you had? And the answer seems to be none because you spoke about someone else.
I have enough experience to know that I don't have no desire to partake in that stuff.
So that it would be fair to say that your information is very limited on the subject. Right? Your information is extremely limited on the subject other than quick scientific outside observation that you didn't even stick around. Hold on. No, don't run now. No, I got the floor. Hold on. I got the floor now. I got the floor. I got the floor now. I got the floor.
And you're gonna keep it.
You did. I got the floor though, bro. I got the floor, right? Don't I got the floor? I got the floor, right? You, right? And this is what's hilarious. You did a quick scientific observational research, have no experience whatsoever in African culture spiritual systems, yet you claim that it's not this or not that. Is it fair to say that you are limited in your information and knowledge on the subject? Yes or no?
No.
Then hold up. Then in front of everybody, you are telling an emphatic lie. Because I can ask you certain questions right now that I'm sure that you're not privy to. You won't be able to answer.
I agree.
Right?
I agree.
Your experiences, so that's knowledge-wise, and your physical experiences are extremely limited, right? To what you have actually been able to take part in. Because you can't, right? So now, that's another thing. So you claim that you're not limited, yet when I ask you about your experiences, there are barely any. the information or knowledge that you know about it, you barely have any, right? So right now, you just in front of everybody told us a bold-faced lie. Because you said you acting like, no. Because you acting like you know something. But when I ask you the most basic of things, right? The most basic of experience and knowledge, you have hardly none of. Now, had you said, yo, I have been in the tradition for X amount of time. I have practiced this for X amount of time. I have been around these people doing this in this elay or culture for this amount of time. Then you would have some experience to say like what is or what isn't. Right? Right now, you are on the outside of a fishbowl claiming that you know why and why oxygen exists in the water. The point is you don't know what you are talking about.
Okay.
You have more experience in Western culture, religion, Abrahamic joints, systems, than you do in African culture. Am I correct? I'm sure I am. No.
All right.
I'm sure I am. I'm gonna pass it with this, right? So I'm gonna end it with this. I'm gonna just end it with what I just said again, so we can make this point. You have no experience whatsoever. You have no knowledge of, right? So that means you don't know what you are talking about. Period.
All right. Congo, you have the floor.
All right, give thanks. Okay, now that was cool. That was a nice slick move. Now, you know what drug addicts do when they're forced to go to counseling by the police? The drug addict's first excuse to the counselor is, "Have you ever smoked crack before? And if you don't have the experience of smoking crack, I don't gotta listen to you because you never suffered my pain of smoking crack." And I guess a person cannot give therapy to a child molested victim. So it's like if you're saying that I have to go through something to be able to understand something, that means that most people who do work with traumatized people should quit if they didn't experience the same trauma. That was the gist of your argument just then. Now, I don't care. My thing is I don't care what Africa. See what happens a lot of times when people like us who have been stripped of themselves and they reconnect to the motherland, they want to get they want to romanticize it, they want to get googie about it. Africa becomes this special thing and this African stuff because we don't know ourselves. We want to make these things so high so we can feel value. And there's nothing wrong with that. But my thing is, when people have to act like these are the absolutes, there are no absolutes with all the ancestor talk. Most of us don't have access, don't know our ancestors, can't tap into no ancestors. And then if these ancestors really have this duality, this other side power, there's nothing you can do to make it not a belief. There's no way that you can prove these things. Everybody is just saying what they believe. And when we start making beliefs facts, it's just something else to keep us in a distraction. To me, all spiritual systems have become escapism. It's become escapism. We dive into rituals and rituals. We've been doing rituals. We've been doing rituals for Haiti. Haiti was a good example of doing African voodoo rituals, but at the end of the day, we all trying to help Haiti. So what really freed Haiti was the fighting. But when they stopped fighting and tried to compromise it and do some peace treaties and work with the cracker again, everything fell apart. The gods didn't protect them. The Orishas didn't protect them. The voodoo didn't protect them. They went right back into suffering as soon as they put the gun down. Nature's law is quite simple, and we want to keep spiritualizing stuff rather than dealing with nature's law. I'm saying the only truth is nature. Everything else is a belief that makes us feel good, and that's fine to feel good. But when we start acting like these feel good things are going to change our reality, I just feel the need to say something.
Okay, so number one, them putting down the gun is not what got Haiti took him back over. That's where you're incorrect.
I mean, not totally. I mean,
no. Don't double back now. You said what you said. You said what you said.
Let him run, Congo. Let him run, Congo. We gonna let the bill be. And for future references, I'd like to say before you go off, I would like to say, no matter how things go, this is not a debate. This is not an argument. This is a reasoning. Steel sharpens steel.
No doubt.
And at the end of the day, it's all love amongst our black people.
That's right.
So go.
All right, so check it out. What got Haiti taken back over, right? Because you got to realize the waters, the trade, what the French, the U.S., and the rest of them Khazars did was after they got their ass kicked, they put their ships on the surrounded Haiti so that they couldn't get goods in and out, right? Things necessary for survival. So they didn't just stop and say, hey, we kicked ass, now we want to be cool. No, it was things going on like they couldn't get shit in and out, which caused certain people, I'm not saying I got my own opinion about them, right? But I ain't gonna put that on there. People went to negotiating off of that. It wasn't talk about, the Orishas didn't protect them. People made, in a position of quote unquote power, made a conscious decision to try to work with the enemies of their ancestors, right? I forgot the brother name who went over to France, and they locked his ass up when they was trying to get him over there, right? But they sat people on the waters. They shot ships on the waters, right? So don't get it confused and think Haiti just decided to be cool, right? And I'm glad you said that, because Haiti is a great example of African revolution using spirituality, right? They didn't have guns. You talking about the fight, right? What weapons did they have that you all right, so I'm saying what they had, right? I'm talking about African spirituality. This is documented too, right? African spirituality, right? They didn't have cannons. They didn't have none of that type stuff. But still conquered the French, who was the baddest army in the whole world. The reason why they demonize voodoo or Vodun is because of that experience that you claim has no power, that you claim is just a belief system, that you claim is just a feel good. That's what the French thought till they got their ass kicked.
You can do a lot. You can do a lot.
All right, pause right quick, y'all. Hold on right quick. Pause right quick. Hey, Nigus, can you hear us? Nigus.
Yeah, I can hear.
Okay.
All right, so let me finish my sentence real quick. So that's what they thought until they got their ass kicked. All right? They literally did rituals before they went to war. They didn't just go out and fight. They took it to the swamps. All of that cutting of the blood that you said you didn't stick around for, when you didn't want to stick around, they did all of that work before they went to war. And won. So you tell me where our people have won without African culture, and that's documented, without using African culture and spirituality. Because there's an example of us winning, using it and claiming it, and white folks fearing it because of it. All right? And that's the spiritual joint instilled fear in crackers after they got their ass kicked. All right? Even what's that white guy name with the one of them evangelist preachers, right? He even went on his show, I forgot his name, y'all probably Baker, one of them dudes, and said that the Haitians sold their soul to the devil, and that's why they conquered the French. Because they called our spirituality the devil. So here we got a clear example of using African culture, spiritual system as a revolutionary tool and winning. You show me, please tell me where you know we have won without using African culture. Spiritually.
All right,
spiritually.
All right, Congo, you can start. You can respond wherever you feel like you need to respond. If you feel like you need to backtrack before you answer the initial question, go ahead.
Okay. All right. Haiti.
Crap, he got cut up.
Did they really? Did they really win? What happened? You going?
No, I think he just got Hold on, Dave can't hear.
Word.
Damn. Okay, he's back. Okay, we lost you for a minute. And hold on.
Yeah, my bad. My phone went
Dave,
out real quick.
No, you good. Dave can't hear right quick. Dave, how about now? Okay, I'm guessing not. Shit. Backup tech, Nikes. What do we do?
What's up? The sound's messing up. All right, so my brother,
Yeah.
you're okay. So now, okay, like,
maybe
so you're telling me that
to come out and try and come back in. If they,
yeah. All right, so you're telling me that it was the rituals that gave power and made them have special fighting. I'm trying to understand, like, are we saying that this gives people confidence or supernatural abilities? This is my thing here. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are we saying that this really does? Because white folks have rituals. The Vikings had rituals when they conquered people. Did it give them power, or is it just like football teams? They do their woo. Everybody has their rituals before they go out and do their thing. Like, does it really mean anything, or is it just a morale boost? Like, do we really think that there's something invisible happening here? Or because everybody does that. So whether it be religious or rah-rah, everybody has a ritual before they do their thing. So if they're victorious, it means that their ziggity is real.
So let me ask you a question, right? So you're saying, all right, so number one, it's more than everybody don't. You're trying to, number one, every time you talk about everybody, you talk about others than African, right?
No,
People who try to copy African culture. No. Let me finish now.
Let me get my point. I want you to understand my question before we move on. I'm bringing it. That's how I make the reference to even sports teams. Before they play a sports game, they have their huddle. They might do a certain dance. It's before every game. That is a ritual. You have people who do believe in lucky things before every game. That is a ritual. So I'm not just talking about religions. I'm talking about rituals are rituals. So I'm saying that, like, so if a person, if their before game ritual works, does that mean that it's a supernatural thing, or is it just a morale boost? So with the Haitian Revolution, though they were doing voodoo, are you telling me that because they were doing voodoo, supernatural things were occurring in the atmosphere, giving them powers? Hopefully I'm clear enough.
So number one, when I hear you say supernatural in the atmosphere, all I hear is white people talk. That's all white people shit. All the lingo that you're using, the lens, Let me finish now, right? The lens, right? When we talk about voodoo or Vodun, you talk about African culture and spiritual system. You talking about something that's within. What you're talking about is outside. What I'm talking about is within. Right? All right. So
hold on right
our
quick.
information is within us.
Hold on right quick.
What you gonna say? Now go ahead.
Hold on, just so we can, my fault. Just so we can clarify, because I think there may be a sense of miscommunication here. What Congo is asking is is the ritual that's doing, is it giving the people, is it giving them is it giving them some kind of power, or is it giving them a confidence in themselves to fight harder? That's what he's asking. Does that make more sense?
It's working on it. Number one, it's working on all planes. Have you ever heard about going into possession?
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of that? All right. There's things that are called being mounted. Okay? There's ways to go into spiritual possession. All right? What it sounds as if the brother is saying is if, especially when I hear him say morale, do you think that the Haitian Revolution was one off of morale ritual? You think they took that 10-year and kicked their ass off of morale? Off of just dancing and morale? The traditions that they did been in existence for a while out of the continent. They didn't start that in Haiti. They came from somewhere. Those is Africans. Your name is Congo. They came from the Congo. Did you know that? Did you know that?
Yes, brother.
Okay, so now go into the traditions of that. All right. So the stuff that they were doing in Haiti.
Those people were conquered. The Africans were conquered.
Okay,
so
listen.
It doesn't impress me.
So when you talk about conquer, you know they took children. First of all, they only took a small amount of people. Right? Number one. Right? So all of that conquer shit, they have not been conquered because it ain't over. You've been conquered when it's over. They ain't been conquered. They led you to believe it's over.
They
have not been conquered.
Okay.
So as I asked you earlier, right? So when you just talk about ritual, now of course Vikings do have their ritual. All them kind of people. Now when we talk about African culture and African rituals, right, which everybody tried to steal from to do their thing, they're not going to get the same results as us, right? So when I'm telling you right here, as an African melanated man, I don't give a fuck about no romanticizing. I'm telling you literally what happened due to my literal experience. I'm not talking about no Harry Potter shit. I'm not talking about no woo-wah. See, are we living in the dream? Are we awoke now or are we asleep now? This is the temporary right now. This physical part, this is what you don't get. This physical realm is the temporary. We exist outside of this physical. Right? From what it sounds like you're saying that we don't exist outside of this physical. And if we exist, and I'm here to say we do. And if we do exist outside of the physical, there are things that we can do outside of the physical realm to have influence, or as well as to make things happen on the physical. Example, when you dream at night, have you ever laughed, cried, smelled, feel, heard, spoke in your dream? I'm sure the answer is yes. You're not conscious, your body not moving, right? However, you are still having physical experiences. You're still able to feel without being in this physical realm. Right now, inside your mind, you can hear voices. Right now, you're talking to yourself. I can see it. You can hear yourself. You're not using your ears. in the dream world, your eyes is closed, but you can see, right? Does that lessen your experience? Not at all. So to have the notion, because it sounds to me, you could correct me if I'm wrong, right? From your aspect, that because you use if it ain't nature, right? The funniest thing is you still experience nature in your dream. You can smell flowers in your dream. Your senses are awoke, but you're not out in the world. So why would we not be able to have experiences or be able to, especially as African, right? I think our people is sharp. Our people not weak. We didn't come from nothing weak, right? So we're aware that there's a duality, because you act like there's no duality. And I'm showing you, number one, right now, it's a duality, because you're able to experience the duality in this physical realm by what I'm saying, by being able to hear, see, your senses without even using physical. When you close your eyes and go to sleep, even though you're on this side, you're still dealing with duality. Tell me, how can you hear without using your ears? You can literally hear without your ears and talk without lips. So if there's no duality, how are you able to do that? And then on top of that, go ahead. I'll ask you that. Go ahead.
All right, Congo has the floor.
I hear everything you're saying, and I pondered these thoughts. I've smoked many a spliff.
If there's no,
Pardon?
The question is, if there's no duality, let me end it with a question, so at least have some direction, right? If there's no duality, right? How are you able to see without your eyes, speak without lips, and hear without your ears, and feel, right, when you're not even conscious?
Okay. In Rastafari, because Rastafari, there's many sides to Rastafari, and I know the popular side is the dogmatic Abrahamic version where Selassie is Jesus, but that's only one corner of Rastafari. All right, Rastafari is also, very rooted in Eastern African. So my point is that there's a saying in Rastafari, it's the 3 in 1 and 1 in 3, right? So I would not only say that there's a duality in us. I would say that there's a triune. There's 3 parts to us, with the heart, mind, and flesh. I won't argue that duality that you speak of, but we say the 3 in 1, right? So that duality is still within the oneness that I am. In the oneness that's me. Okay, I have experience. Right now in my dream, or even with my thoughts, I can smell a mango because I know what a mango smells like. I experienced a mango in my physical to have the memory. I'm not gonna sit there and act like I can understand the fullness of the brain and why I do what it do, or break things down to just it's all science. But I don't think I have the power to smell something in my dream that I never smelled prior. I can smell in my dream what I already know to something to smell like, because I have the experience. I can hear myself because I know what I sound like. If I was to go deaf today, I heard my voice already. I know my voice. I know what I sound like. I experienced it. So yeah, to hear my thoughts is to hear me, because I know me. Now, I don't know if I heard myself speaking before I knew how to speak. That's another question. So now, okay, the dream state. Yeah, of course. The dream state, you experience it because you're alive. Even though, my physical body is sleeping, my conscious mind is alive, and my conscious mind has experienced life. So now, I can't explain the fullness, but I know that it's based on experience. Most of the dreams is based on experience. It's compiled experience.
Hey, y'all keep going. I gotta go get my charger. Y'all keep going.
It's compiled experience put together. So now life, I could be wrong. See, the thing about it is that how I say this? Sometimes I even say, I would hope that what you say is true. But there's a part of me that has to build my, because like no one can prove these things. It's all just a feeling and a belief. And people tell you, oh, well, you don't see it that way because you didn't go through the feeling, which is like what Christians say, because you didn't get the Holy Ghost, so you don't really believe hard enough yet. You know, it's the same kind of excuses I hear. So now I ask you all the time, okay, life. I will say this. I will say life is eternal. Yeah, life has no beginning, life has no end. Now, are we individuals separately eternal? I don't know. Because I would say life doesn't belong to us. We belong to life. You know, so people like the ancestors, you know, those who passed on, like they're there, they're doing works, the knowledge, they know what we've been through and they're working with us. And I'm like, okay, well, where were we before we were born? Do we have conscious memory of life? Some people claim, but you know, do we really have conscious memory of life before this existence? And for the most honest answer, it's really no. You have to ask your parents just about what your parents gotta tell you what you did the first 2 years of your life. You talk to your parents and you're like, word, I was like that, I did that, really. Your parents clue you in on your beginnings. So what clues you in on what you was before your parents? You know, that is not to say you didn't exist, but you didn't exist as the conscious being you are now. So how do we figure that we'll be that same conscious being after this state?
Can I answer that a little bit?
Respectfully.
All right. Okay. Yeah, definitely. First of all, I know we was joking earlier, talking junk and all that. However, I'm rocking with you. You know what I'm saying? I don't want this to get confused. You know what I'm saying? Part of that's all fun.
Yeah, we're grown men, of course.
Now
Now we're
getting into more of a serious. Now we're getting into more of a serious convo, right?
Yeah.
And the word,
love
it's a 5-syllable word called epigenetics. Have you heard of this term?
Yes, indeed.
Okay, this is the passing of information through the blood. The passing of information through the blood. So we don't have to talk to our parents to get information. There's information that predates our parents. There's information that predates our parents' parents. There's
it's
information
already there.
Right? So
it's already there.
Right? So
who we calling?
The blood.
We are them. We are them.
Hold on now.
Okay.
Hold on now.
Okay.
So like I'm saying, right? So the same way you look like your greats, the passing of physical information, it's also the passing of knowledge information, right? There's
I agree.
Energy. All right. So there's energy. There's an antenna. Okay.
I agree.
There's an antenna that goes back to the first mother.
I agree. 100. I agree.
And right. So, and we also agree that there's duality. Right? We are aware that everything's not physical. Right? We are aware that there's information that's there. Are we already aware that we can talk, we can hear, we can listen without being physical? All right. There's also within that blood information that's not physical. Right? That goes back to this is what, and we're able, once we tap into that through culture, right? This is antenna. Our blood is an antenna. We have antennas. All right. So that is part of the supernatural phenomenon. Right? So when we talk about Orisha, when we talk about our ancestors, we talk about our ancestors, we ain't gonna go to the Orisha, right? We go to our ancestors, our bloodline lineage, right? That not only existed, that we have blood with, that passed on, right? Out of this physical realm, that we're talking spirituality. So I'm assuming that let let me ask you this real quick. This is kind of a yes or no, because this is going to depend on which way I go with this piece of my conversation. Do you believe in life after death? Do you think do you think after you're physically dead it's over? Or do you think that you move on from this physical realm? This is very important to how we go, because what do you think on that?
Me personally, right now, the way I answer that is, if we don't know where we was before we were born, I don't think we're gonna know where we are. We have no memory. Like I don't think our conscious memory exists beyond this plane. Life, okay. Yes. Me as my thoughts, I'm skeptic towards that.
Okay, but we are aware that, right, there's information in the blood.
Welcome back, Nagas.
Right.
I believe life goes on through the seed, not through this. The spirit does not do nothing without the flesh. Like, to continue is to have the children. You live on through everything is together. There's no separation. The duality is still a oneness. It's still one and the same. The spirit is encapsulated. It works through the flesh.
Okay, so. All right, so but it also, I'm saying it doesn't just work through the flesh. And that's why I brought up earlier about being able to smell or have experiences or to travel and to move without the flesh. When you're asleep and you're dreaming and you're moving around and you're having experiences and you're laughing and you're crying and you're smelling, you're experiencing, right, without the flesh. That is your spirit having experience that you deem as physical, right? Literal in real time. When you go to when you have them dreams and you have these physical experiences, right? Quote unquote physical experiences, but your body's not moving, your lips not moving, and none of that. So, I'm saying that to say we have experiences outside of our physical body. That shows we have experiences outside of our physical body. I'm also saying that our time on the planet Earth is temporary. We exist longer outside of the physical than in the physical. We have parents or grandparents or greats that have been quote unquote dead physically longer than they've been alive. Right? And I'm saying that on the other side, they are still alive. And hold on, I'm about to show you this. Because we talking about duality, right? We talk about balance, all right? Because balance, there we go. All right, no, balance, that's a great word, balance, right? As above, so below. Our physical life and non-physical life. Duality, balance, male, female, right? The thing is, we've been taught to not give or to not be able to learn how to tap in to the side that's not physical. So we are aware that there is a duality that exists, right? We are admitting that it's a duality that exists. There's a side of physical that exists. I'm saying that our African culture, I've experienced this, what I'm saying, our African culture is organic and natural for us to deal with that non-physical side. For us, that was a normal thing to be able to do. Normal. Other culture, and as a part of our culture, like we didn't have to learn to do that. That's how we were part of our genetic makeup. That's how we do as Africans, all right? To be able to have and know about our non-physical experiences, all right? Because we spend more time on the non-physical side, all right? And that's a part of our duality. So understanding what that is culturally on the other side and how to work with the other side, right? See, we speak about duality, however, we only, because we've been taught to do this, right? We've been taught to only deal with it on the physical side, as if the other side has no existence or no relevance to our physical side. All right. So when I hear you say like it's romanticism, a bunch of feel good, or people saying had these so-called experiences, right? That's to me a part of what the enemies of our ancestors wanted us to believe, because of what we can do by tapping into the non-physical side, or by tapping into the spiritual side. All right, because we are aware it exists. We know it exists. So why, and our ancient African, this we talk about ancestors, this is part of their norm. So when I speak about stuff that was taken from us, one of the things that's been taken from us was the ability to know how to tap into that other side and to gain experiences and what to do with that. All right. So as we travel home, not just physically, mentally, spiritually, in all ways, we're learning, we know how to tap into that, and it makes a difference on the physical side just as much as we make a difference on the non-physical side. All right. So when we talk about Orishas and different planes, there's like 7 planes of existence. They go through all of that shit. I don't even deal with the chakra world because they got that from us too. All right. So I'm gonna just end it with this. We know it's the duality. So I'm gonna ask you this question. Why do you think that we cannot work with the non-physical side of our duality? If we are admitting that it's a duality and we can have something on the physical side, why do you think that we can't work with the non-physical side?
Because, well, I didn't, well, not because. All right, because, all right. The duality that I do acknowledge is still within this realm. When we start talking about the other side, the invisible plane in these things, I can't for certain say it's not true, because I don't. No one knows for certain, but I feel like it's the same direction. No one on that side can say for certain that it is true, because, all right, we've been such. Because then I feel like, okay, now we're getting into the games like, oh, because, well, if you're questioning it, if it's not working, it means that you're not doing it right. And then, like I said, I'm always going to compare it to my experiences. You know, it's like when they'll tell you, oh, well, you got to pray harder. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if we're in the year 2022, the amount of Black people that suffered and died by the hands of the oppressors, we're talking about the thousands, the millions. You're trying to tell me that by now the right ritual wasn't done yet to make these millions of souls corrected? Like, so it's like, what are we tapping into? Like why do we, if they're there, like, why is it a bargaining game? Why, if you like it's like, if I have power in death and I see my children suffering, they ain't gotta bring me 2 loaves of bread on the right Sunday morning at the right time for me to help them and all this stuff. So it doesn't make sense to me logically that we keep believing in these things, like all of them, because it's like, after all this time spent doing all these things, we still gotta do more, and we gotta do more, and we keep saying if we do it right, something great will happen. So
okay,
it just makes me to be. I have to be an honest skeptic. I have to be the one to voice the doubt that people have, that they're afraid to acknowledge, because because the spiritual realm punishing them for asking questions. I'm gonna ask every damn question that runs through my head.
Asking questions is great. So all right, so check it out. So first of all, when we talk about, what tools have we been using? I'm gonna go somewhere else too, though. What we have been using non-African tools. You know, we can't. What
earlier
meaning,
you mentioned Tahir RBG. I love that brother. Good music. He makes a lot of good music. Cool brother. Brothers like him have been practicing that stuff for a long time. If that's the right stuff, that's not new. People been doing that for a long time too. Gatherings and getting it in.
Yeah, right. So when you look at it, right? Like, look at us right now on this. Let's talk in terms of numbers, right? We have been doing everything except for being African. And then we wonder why we can't tap into our African culture in the other side and talk to our folk. Or have, you know, we have been using the oppressor's tools, whether it's Islam, whether it's the Europeanized version of Rastafari, whether it's Christianity, right? We have been doing everything except for our stuff and wondering why we ain't been getting no results. Right? So we can't
in Africa, being African, they're not getting
Africans, even on the continent, right? If we think that we have been warred upon in the United States, just imagine over there is like ground zero.
That's my point. So how good was this stuff if it got obliterated?
It didn't. So you got to think of where it's obliterated at. Right?
If ground zero is fucked up, ain't that kind of fucked up for the ones in Canada for the diaspora?
All right, so you got to remember, we at war. You at war. I think people forget that we at war. We've been at war. Right? We've been at war.
Mm-hmm.
The war ain't over. You know what I'm saying? And the war is more than physical.
I agree. And that's where the Rasta man stands, because I feel we tried being African. I think we tried everything except being natural, going back to nature. I think we tried doing African rituals, but we never tried. Listen, we're at war because we're competing. We're competing. Now, Hold on. Let me just finish real quick. Hold on, because I wanted to finish. I was going somewhere. We've been warred upon, all right? We have tried everything except for being African, because we ain't been doing no culture. We haven't been practicing our culture. We've been taking the bits and pieces, because you gotta remember, when somebody drop a bomb on the place, you gotta start to gather pieces. You gotta gather stuff up, right? We ain't have all of the tools and strength in numbers, right? On the continent, just like all over, people is Christian on the continent, right? And I'm talking about, and when you come to politics, it's people on the continent, right? We do it here too, so I'm not separating us in that, because we is one. That politically, before they make decisions for African country, they put on white people wigs on their brain, right?
And I still don't know why they still do that.
Guess what religion? Now, guess what?
Still do that.
Right. Guess what religions they messing with? They not wrestling with African culture religion. They talking to Christianity and Islam.
Yeah, I call it that Kool wig.
So if they look, I'm gonna tell you like this: if they had shrines up there, they had African culture stuff up there, they got to answer to them decisions that they making. They can't. That wouldn't work. Think about how deep this is, right? Where before they make decisions for African culture, they put on a European wig. That's ritual.
Mm-hmm.
That's ritual. Okay? For a reason. That's not. So when we just look at the continent of Africa, we got to look at the consciousness of what's going on and talk about culture. That's the key word, culture. So just because they are in the continent, they are not all experiencing African culture. And the pieces of African culture that are doing it, we don't see, because they're not going to put that on television. All right. And the parts that we do see, since we've been so Europeanized, we look at it like, oh, they're out there in wherever we see dirt, we see certain things, and not being aware of the spiritual power that they possess. All right. We may look at them and like, oh man, they out there in the dirt, and just like, why they look so happy? Why they chilling? Why they doing them? There's a whole nother spiritual plane that they working off of. All right.
And I really think that they're just working off of nature. I think because we're disconnected, I think we make it to be more than what it is. Like,
okay, let me ask you this. Answer this question. Because you keep going to nature, right? What does nature look like in duality? How do we experience, because I'm talking about spiritual, right? How you don't experience nature in your dream? Your sight, smell, and all this feeling, all of these things that you know, nature's not there. Nature not there. So you're saying it's nature. What is nature in the duality?
Okay, what I'm saying is that a lot of times when we see the indigenous, the Africans doing indigenous things, I'm saying that they're doing these things in homage to nature. You know what I'm saying? That's why you see a lot of times they put on the ostrich feather or the different animal parts, you know, and they're doing things in reference to nature, and they're doing certain dances that mimic star movements in the stars and movements in the heavens. These dances are imitating alignments and things like that. It's all dealing with understanding your place within this reality, with, you know, your alignment with how this thing lined up, just knowing yourself. And we had the time to, you know, to you know, we're just a jazzy people, so we just do things with style, to, you know, and ritualistically. But I'm saying that these things were just for us to understand nature around us, to understand our life, to understand our connection to what we see. It's understanding what we see. The spiritual part about it, to me, I mean, it's a bedtime story. Like,
but let me ask you this though. But you said it's a duality, right? Why? I go back to this question. You're saying it's a duality, and then you're saying that we do things just as the stylistic people because we some cool swaggy folk.
But I'm saying there's a duality. Is to understand our place within life.
Okay,
and,
right.
Like I said,
right.
The dances we do are imitating movements and alignments and things of that nature.
Do you think? All right. So do you? All right. So we are aware it's a duality, right? Do you not think, or do you think that it has an effect on the unseen? All right, because we're admitting that it's a duality. Right? My question is, I'll go back to that same thing. Why do you think if our ancestors and our people and us even now realize there's a duality, realized it, could have way more advanced technologically than us, right? Why do you think that we don't have the ability to tap into the other side and have experiences and so on and so forth? Because we have recognized that it's there. So why do you think that it does not have they don't work together? Like balance. Why do you think it doesn't work together? Like, see how this hand is? It's one hand, right? There's two sides to this hand, right? That work together. You're aware of duality, you're aware of balance. Why? What makes you think that our ancestors don't know how to not only tap into that, work with that, make things happen with it on so many levels? Why do you think that we can't do that? Or what makes you think that by just recognizing it, that they can't do it?
Because
our culture says we can. Our African culture and our African spiritual systems, which are ancient, says that we can and do. I'm also saying that I experienced it too, but I'm not going to go off of my experience right now. What makes you think that we can't do that?
We can't or they can't. You asked me two different things. You said they first, and now you say we.
All right. What makes you think that we, us, cannot tap into the other side of duality and work with the other side of duality as our African culture, spiritual systems say and show that we can? What makes you think that we can't? Since we recognize there's a duality, we recognize that even in our conscious, when we're not using our physical, we operate in the duality. And if you ever been conscious in your dreams, you can, I've been conscious in my dreams. I'm pretty sure y'all have been before too, right? That what makes you think that we cannot operate in the duality on the other side, even though you done experienced it yourself?
All right, because if you have a bad dream and if you get like Freddy Krueger, remember Freddy Krueger movies? If Freddy Krueger would cut them in their dream, they wake up and they got the cut. If I get cut in my dream, when I wake up, I'm not cut. So it's my conscious thoughts. My physical body is sleeping, but my conscious mind is still awake. Now, what you're saying to me is that now when my physical died, that same conscious mind that's in a dream state just exists eternally. Is that what you're saying to me? Because no one dead ever said, "Yeah, I'm living in an eternal dream now."
No. What I'm saying is that, first of all, what I'm saying is real.
As far as us tapping into something, I think that we I don't think our ancestors exist somewhere else. I think our ancestors are right here. I think they're the 50 million people it took. Like we're all the remnants, or it's not remnants, the results of how many millions of people came before us. That lineage that they get to us, they're all here. Like it's like man, you look at some animals in nature when they're born, like they hatch like turtles or something. For one example, top of my head, turtles. When turtles are born, they don't have no parents. They're born on their own. The egg hatch from day one, they're on their own. No one has to teach them how to be a turtle. Like they don't have no parents. They learn everything just like spiders and other animals that are born on their own. DNA encoded, like you said, the epigenetics. That's a scientific word you use, epigenetics. But it is, in a sense, the spiritual system coming down through the DNA, through the blood. So it's like there's no tapping into outside. It's me. Now, do I know fully what that means? Probably not, because but I don't think there's nothing outside. It's all right here. They passed it down through the seed, there's nothing outside. It's here.
Okay, so it is the blood. E5 is the blood, the bone, right? So, and what I think that you're limiting is the ability of what that is and what that means and how much deep that information travels and what we're able, how deep of an antenna that is. When it comes to African culture, even though you're admitting that it's a duality, you don't seem to want to admit the fact that we can tap into that other side.
I can't admit something I know that I don't know.
But you've experienced it through your dreams, though. You've experienced.
You're telling me that's what dreams are.
Oh no. I'm saying that you experience, right? Not okay. Put it like this. I'm saying that you experience being able to speak without lips, see without eyes, and hear without ears. Right? I'm also saying that maybe you haven't, this part is a guess though, have been able to be conscious at times during the unconscious process, like in your sleep. Like there's been times, well, I'm willing to bet, because I've been, where you were able to think and move how you wanted to in your dream. You were able to make a decision in your dream, right? Have you ever been able to make a decision in your dream?
Yeah.
Okay. So without the physical, you were able to make a decision in the spiritual. Let's just say what's the highest form of education? What they call a PhD or something, a doctor? Let's just say you had a doctorate degree in being able to have experiences on the other side, or speak on the other side, or have consciousness in your sleep. Let's say you had a PhD in that. What do you think that would look like? Do you think that it would be do you think that you would have it mastered to the point where you could really move around and have experiences in there on the other side? All right? Because what I'm saying is our people were so wise, intelligent, smart, and advanced, and part of our culture, right? Because to me, I don't think it was so. I don't think we never looked at it as like a ooh-ah thing, right? I looked at it as that's just how we do and did, all right? I'm saying that our people are masters at that, or the other side, have the highest degrees in that. And I'm saying that information is passed down through epigenetics. That now, even us, the descendants of that, the same way we have the looks and the things from our ancient, because best believe each one of us look like somebody from 100,000 years ago. That's what epigenetics says. That not only the physical information was passed, spiritual information is passed, as well as just education. And I'm saying within that blood, right? If you have a PhD in that area, if you're able to learn in that area, that you can go to the other side, get information, and bring it back to this physical side. This is what I'm saying, all right? And that information is so strong, it looks like different things. And when you're dealing with African culture and cosmology, right? We're talking about ancient stuff that has not changed, right? You're talking about Orisha. You're talking about ancestors, right? You're talking about things that are quote unquote alive on the other side of the duality. And I'm also saying that our time on this physical side is short, very short compared to the non-physical side. I'm saying not our consciousness, because you're going to know a lot more not being physical, right? This limits us. This is like this is limiting us, right? We're retracing the steps here, is what I'm saying, all right? And I'm saying that we have all experienced consciousness, and we can speak, think, and do all of those without lips, and we can also tap into the other side to gain experiences. And when it's done through culture, you're going to see Ifa, Akan, so on and so forth, these different things, all right? And I'm also saying that when we let go of other people's tools and utilize our tools, we will be able to experience. That's the difference. The experience what you may call the unknown. And that's why I asked you earlier, how much experience have you had within the African culture joint, right? Because I'm so aware and 1,000% confident in this. When I say 1,000%, that had you had experience dealing with African culture yourself, literal experience, that you would look at it through a different type of lens because of your literal experience. I have friends, right? A few friends that I was able to take or get them open to what it is we do in our culture, right? Had no, they didn't have certain experiences, right? If I could call them on the phone right now, they'll literally tell you what that experience was like. In real life time, not no hoodoo, not no guessing, even though it sound like that, right? And I'm saying our people is so deep that was our norm to be able to do. So only reason why it seems all spacey now is because of we've been warred upon, and that's been stripped. That's why we're having this conversation right now, because that's been taken from us. But I'm gonna pass the mic right there.
All right, hold on. All right, now I would like to say thank both of y'all for having such a discussion right here, and for also keeping the peace within the discussion. Now, such a video, such discussion y'all having right now, it gotta get its own video. Real shit, it's gotta get its own video. Are y'all both willing to come on and have this and discuss the same topic again on a separate video?
I am definitely discussing the same topic again, and let me I don't even like to use the word humble, and I'm gonna definitely use it here. Let me humbly apologize to the brother for being attacking, antagonizing, and acting other than building when he first got on. Because what I don't want to do, this is such a very important subject, right? What I don't want to do is make it so that those who are watching don't get to learn, and they immediately go to choosing sides without the lesson, right? And a lot of times, and I'm admitting that I'm guilty of it. You see what I'm saying? That's why I'm apologizing to the brother right now and the platform, because that's not the way to get information out. That's not a way to share. That's not building. You know what I'm saying? That starts to put up blocks, and you see that by doing that, it took us a half an hour, 45 minutes to get through all of them blocks that we threw up at the beginning to get to a real conversation that we could both grow from. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I'm definitely willing to build on that conversation. I'll definitely link. I'm glad you like my man Ty here as well. And I state my word. I really want to link up with you. I want to take you to some places, right? If you're really serious about interested in learning, right? Because I can bet $1 billion with the few experiences, we'll come back on this platform and you're gonna be like, yo, hey man, listen, hey man, look, hey man, you could be like, you, y'all may think this and that. Hey, I was once there. I could bet $1 million.
Yo, right? If you can get me, the skeptic, on board, you'll do a lot. I'm Mr. Skeptic. I'm Mr. Skeptic. So
tune in to the Promise Key. But
the Promise Key.
I'd like to thank.
Go ahead.
I'd like to thank my guests, my co-hosts, for doing this with me today. This has been one hell of a build. I really appreciate the brother for coming on. Hey, when next time I can get you on? When next time you free?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh, sure. I'm actually I want to say soon, man. ASAP, man. Sure, we could probably do it in a couple of days. I'm out here in Tallahassee. Let me do a shameless plug. I was able to speak at FAMU campus on African spirituality, hip hop, and Oriki last week on a panel. It was definitely a great discussion. I'm also doing a festival this weekend called Odun Day for my godfather and his son, who've been 20 years in the tradition. And I'm gonna walk out. Those are drumming that you heard earlier and stuff like that, because it's definitely in the home. And I want to say Sunday. I'm looking to finish this. I have build on this as soon as possible, but I can't say Sunday. Let's just say, I don't know. Soon. When would you be available? When are y'all available? What y'all looking at?
I'm good. I'm good anytime before the 28th.
What time? All right. So I got to do a debrief. Y'all available Sunday?
Yeah, Sunday.
I can move some things around Sunday. Around the same time we started.
Okay, let's do a Sunday, and that'll be great. We could build, and then we can start fresh, and we don't have to. We ain't gonna do all of that bull. We ain't gonna, we're gonna build. You know what I'm saying? Not saying you can't throw no darts. I ain't saying that. I'm just saying, because I think that's probably entertaining to make us laugh too. So I'm just saying that we're gonna keep it. We'll keep it clean and make sure that it's loving, because it's really about sharing and building. And I'm really interested in everybody I come in contact with to get home, man. We gotta go home, man. We gotta get our stuff. And even if we disagree, even in disagreement, we agree who the enemy of our ancestors are, and that's important.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
That's the
So
main
you don't got to do.
That's right.
The main thing to build is tolerance, because you're not going to get everybody to see spirituality the same way. But we have to respect each other, learn how we get down, and have tolerance to work together. Like you said, for the main enemy, that's the main thing.
That's the main goal. So if that's your, that's right. If you rocking Rasta and you kicking them crackers ass and liberating our folk, we allies. You know what I'm saying? So and that's what it's about. I'm definitely interested in you get some other experience as well. However, right now we don't have enough time to be really warring against each other when we got somebody that's trying to put their foot on both of our neck.
Exactly.
Trying to put an end to us.
Exactly.
For real.
Right on.
Hey, I thank y'all the platform for having me on. I really appreciate the Promise Key. Shout out to my nephew. You know what I'm saying? Nephew. He's new to all of this right here. You know what I'm saying? And
that's what's up.
I'm so glad that he got to sit here and just hear his uncle build and see, because I'm interested in passing all of this to him. You feel
that's what's up.
Word up.
Yep.
That's not even a question. You know you have to.
No doubt.
Right.
And he's listening to you now, so that's good too.
All right, y'all, signing off with peace and love. Bless. Selassie.
Peace.
Sheo. Dabo. Oh.